Welcome back to my hobby room. I'm LJ, and today I'm going to play with Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit is a set put out by Tim Holtz, Stampers Anonymous, with this lovely red rubber. I love the red rubber. It's my favorite kind of stamp. And you'll see with this set, it's just so fun to work with. So I took Mr. Rabbit out and thought, what am I going to do with him today? I've been watching other YouTubers and people on Instagram and other social media play with them, and I kind of had in my head what I thought I would like to do if I got the chance to play with them. And the first thing I needed to do, though, would be to make a mask. So this is Gina K masking paper. Some of the best in the business from what people who use masks all the time tell me. You do have to cut it out by hand if you want a mask, but it's either that or cut out your image and put it on a background. So I thought today I would try the mask. One of the reasons is because I wanted to make these Mr. Rabbit, I wanted to put him on envelopes, and I wanted to keep it flat. If I put him on an envelope and want to put a background behind him, you need to use a mask of some sort. So that's how it got started. And then I thought, well, I've got this great image here. Let's see what I can do with this image. Let me kind of play with Mr. Rabbit a little bit. Have a little play with him and see how I like it. So I started by taking out the various stamps and then taking out my crayons. So I took out some various colors, and I can't tell you what all the colors are. There's just too many. And besides, just like everything else, please use what you have. Don't worry about what colors other people are using. Play with them yourself. And maybe their colors do look great. But, if you like it, try to replicate it the best you can. Don't worry about whether or not you're able to make it exactly like theirs. So what you do with the crayons that's kind of fun is you put them on there and you kind of spread them around. Well, my first thought was, I won't use the mask on here. I'll save it for when I'm going to... Then I thought, wait, I need to use this mask if I want to put color around him, because otherwise it's just going to be around him. It won't be actually looking like it's behind him. And I do want the background to look like it's in the background. So I did put the mask on. And I don't use a lot of masks, mainly because I'll cut something out and put some foam tape behind it or something. But I really wanted to do this flat, like I said, on the envelopes, and that's what got me going with masking. That's why I've bought this Masking Magic a long time ago and have a lot of it left. Now, you notice I didn't really clean off my finger very well, which... Not bad that I used yellow and blue, because it makes some green, and it makes some nice little green in there. And then I was like, wait, why don't I just put some green in there? Because, I already kind of did that. So let's add some green right there. That's fine. I'll have more green, and that'll be good. Now, I put some, when I use the crayons, and again, I am not using very good paper for this. I should be using some sort of watercolor paper or media paper, and I'm not. I'm using just the very basic, 110-pound Amazon version paper. I don't remember what the name of it is right now. I just get it from Amazon, and I like it because it'll hold some water, and it does pretty good, but it's not the greatest for blending. And look at the way it's blending these crayons. The crayons are doing really great with it. I was overall really pleased with how it was looking, and I was like, this is not bad. I'm enjoying this. I got a little bit too much water up here in the orange, and you'll see it, but I end up cutting off the part that's kind of, really oversaturated, so that's not too bad. But it did I just put a little bit too much water on my fingers. I was doing so good, and then I, had a little bit of a lapse there. I want to put too much water on a lot. But the crayons move around really nicely. And they are really good. Look at this quick background. I mean, yes, I did speed up this part of the video. But it is a very easy way to make a background. And I'm cleaning up my water right now so I don't set it in it. And then I got to decide what to do now. And I thought the best thing to do would be to stamp with these just lovely. I just love these backgrounds that came with this. So you gotta, I know I'm hitting this and it's shaking the whole camera. I didn't notice it when I was doing it, but I did notice it afterwards, and I'll be more careful in the future. But so I love these, the plaid and the dots. Now the dots really line up nicely, and you can line them up and do a really good job of adding dots to any of your projects. And I've seen people do one of the things I want to try later, which is putting it on a darker color and then taking water and put the water, because of the way it reacts with the colors, and putting it on there. So rather than putting a darker color on like I did there, you instead ended up with a lighter dot. So I'm going to try that in a little while too. But this is my first play with Mr. Rabbit, and I have to say I'm not disappointed. I like the boldness of it. I like the way it comes out at the end. I did spend a lot of time on this card coloring with not only the crayons and the, doing this part of it, which is, again, sped up, I think, 4 times for this. So this is a really, really good play I had with Mr. Rabbit for this one card. But a lot of it will come in a little bit when I start using the watercolor colored pencils. And I use them on him, on the image of him. And I took a long time coloring him. But I'm liking how he came out, so that's kind of the main thing. And again, you can do whatever you want with this. I like the 5 egg dyes looking, down at the bottom. I just think it makes a nice little way of, putting a little bit of words on the page without it being too much. But I do want to take, there's another image that comes with it, and put it in the background. I just didn't want it in the background on this one. And I've got other plans. I've got all kinds of ideas in my head of what to do with Mr. Rabbit, because it's one of my favorite images that Tim has come out with in a while. I am just really enamored with it, as are a lot of other people too. So I'm not alone there. So once I got done with this, and I did go back here, this was a mistake. I tried lining it up. It does line up. I just didn't do a very good job of it. I didn't look at it very well, but it's okay, because you're not going to see, the dots are there. They're just dots. They very much go into the background once I start coloring Mr. Rabbit. That's kind of the key there. And right now you're seeing it with the mask still on. So once I take the mask off, you can see that you can actually, the reveal, which is what everyone loves, but you can actually just leave it the way it is. Even with the color behind him, he looks really good. I like him so much that I don't think he needs a whole lot done to him if you want to keep it really simple. Now there I cut him down. That was me cutting him down, cutting down the background there, and starting to do the watercolor pencil work. Now when I start this, I'm going to tell you now, it's all about layers. So you have to plan on spending some time. And this is one of the reasons I can't tell you all the colors I used, because I used a lot of colors. I started with a very light brown, and I tried going around and using my water. I do like the water brush. I wanted to keep them on the lighter side. A lot of people have done them really dark, and I want to do a gray one. I want to do a white one. I want to do all the colors, but I thought this one here, I'd make a little light brown bunny. Wanted to be careful not to make them too dark, because I've seen a lot of people where they look like they just made them a little too dark for what I like. He could be a black bunny or a dark brown bunny. That bunnies come in almost every color pretty much. Dark brown, light brown, black, white, gray. There's a lot of colors of bunnies, so you can do a lot with them. I tried getting a little pink around his nose, just a little bit, so it would look a little more, kind of realistic. He's wearing a suit. How realistic does he have to be? But I enjoyed doing this a lot. This was a lot of fun to me, and I really had a good time using the water brush and trying to lighten it up. in areas and then darkening it around the outside of him. I spent a lot of time doing that. So he kind of comes off the page a little bit. So he almost looks like, he's in front of the background and not flat on there. That's what I was trying to get at with that. And I think I did a pretty good job with it. I'm not, it's not my thing so much to color. I'm getting better at it. The more I do it, the better I get at it, which I guess is a sign in and of itself of, how things should go, right? The more you do it, the better you get at it. But I'm pretty happy with the way the colors popped, and his white underneath it, I made like his collar being white, so I used some gray on there. And then I kept going where the shadow should be. And if you follow that kind of rule, that seems to always work out pretty well for me. I did not put a sentiment on the front of this. I think I'm going to leave it like this, and then inside just put a happy Easter, sentiment or something fun like that, some sort of Eastery sentiment. I've got a few of them to choose from. I did go around the outside with blue rather than like a brown or something like that because it's spring and it's kind of an Easter card. So I wanted it to be, I don't know, not shabby brown, but more bright blue, fun and playful looking. So I didn't mount them on any card back or anything like that yet. I will put them on a very cute little, maybe colored card stock so that he, stands out well. And that is my fun with Mr. Rabbit. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep crafting.
And dance by the light of the moon.